Today is 19th of April 2023. Yesterday we talked about the development of concentration, wisdom generates, wisdom develops. When wisdom develops, we know the true nature of the physicality and the mentality. Meanwhile, we talk about the three natures or the three characteristics. Personally, individual characteristics are physicality and the mentality. Second, conditional characteristic. And the third is common characteristic. So, while practicing meditation, you is first come to know the individual characteristics of physicality and the mentality. Then after yogis come to discover the conditional characteristic. Then only after the common characteristics. Common characteristics means the impermanence, suffering and non-self. The three natures which is related and common with all the physicalities and mentalities, which is common with the universal physicality and mentality, so also known as universal characteristics. And we thought, in order to see, in order to discover, in order to know the common characteristics, we first must discover the conditional characteristics, and to discover the conditional characteristics first we must know the individual characteristics. Without knowing individual characteristics, it is possible to know conditional and common characteristics. Again, to know the first characteristic, individual characteristic, what we need to do is, we just need to observe the presently arising object. If we keep observing the presently arising object mindfully, automatically we come to know the individual characteristic. And excitement, hardness, softness, coolness, warmness, and so on. Again, as we keep noting the presently arising object, then automatically we come to see, we come to discover the appearance, staying for a while, and disappearance. Beginning, middle, and the end of the physicality and the mentality. Again, we just need to keep observing the presently arising object. Automatically, we discover, we come to know the common nature, common characteristics. We come to see automatically the rapid arising and the passing away of physicality and the mentality. We don't need to do anything. What we need to do is, we have to just observe the presently arising object. Only when we discover the rapid, we come to know the rapid arising and passing away of the physicality and the mentality. At that time, automatically, the knowledge of impermanence, knowledge of suffering, knowledge of self-relations develops. Here I would like to mention, this is the contemplating knowledge. Contemplating knowledge. This is development. Developing knowledge. Develops by practicing meditation or develops by observing the presenting arising. Why I am mentioning this is because today some yogis quoting the interview like
cái dây này trong
the
trong
anicca, dukkha, anatta, that is also contemplating. The development knowledge into the impermanence of it and the nonsense. We must see the rapid appearance and the disappearance of the physicalities and the mentalities. Before that, if we think we are knowing impermanence, suffering and nonsense, that is contemplating knowledge. Contemplating, then we should know as contemplating. At this stage, when yogis come to discover the rapid arising and the passing away of physicality and mentality, at that time special mentalities, very special or extraordinary mentalities develops. Especially Pīti, rapture develops, passaddhi, tranquility or the serenity develops, sukha, happiness develops. So we will talk a bit more about the Pītis, the rapture, passaddhi, serenity and the sukha that develops while seeing the rapid appearance and the disappearance of the physicality and the mentality. So 5 kinds of Pīti, rapture are mentioned, joy are mentioned in the text. The first one is the minor rapture. The manifestation of the minor rapture is goosebumps. Yogis may experience the goosebumps. If goosebumps is there, while observing, penetrating into the object, while concentration is quite good, while knowing the physicalities and the mentality so clearly, especially while knowing appearance and the disappearance. So that is the manifestation of the minor rapture. Minor rapture called because it has less intensity, not a strong one, less strong one. Rapture is a joyous feeling, mind feeling so joy, so pleased at that time. So that is the rapture. So the second type of rapture is the momentary rapture. So it arises moment by moment, like on and off, like lightning, when like a flash of lightning, on and off. So that kind of rapture, joy is called momentary joy or rapture. The third rapture is soaring rapture or floating rapture or overlapping rapture. So why it is called showering rapture is it may manifest like we are taking shower. There is some kind of feeling like flowing from top of the head to the tip of the toes, from the whole body, flowing something from a joyous feeling flowing from top of the head to the tip of the toes. So showering feeling. Or sometimes we feel we are floating on the current of a stream, sitting on the current of water and floating and flowing together with the current of the water while we are sitting in our cushion. So that kind of feeling soothing rapture. A person is sitting by the sea at that time, like a big wave comes from the sea and feel like the wave is going to engulf or the open land, in or out. So that kind of feeling, overlapping feeling is there. And at times yogis feel the ground is moving, the ground is shifting. So these all are manifestation of the third rapture, that is showering rapture. Fourth one is uplifting rapture. When this rapture is present, yogis may feel body is uplifting from the ground, some inches, some centimeters, some feet is high from the ground, not touching on the ground, or flying in the air, while sitting also, while walking also. Some yogis feel some inches, some yogis feel some centimeters, some feet. So the stronger Pīti, the higher height, yogis may feel. The last one and the strongest one is the pervading Pīti. Pervading means spreading, like that. Spreading all over the body, like that. Each and every pore of the body, yogis feel something is happening. The manifestation of the Pīti realized all over the body. So the fifth one is the strongest one. Comparing to the first one, second one is stronger. Comparing to the third one, second one, third one is the stronger. So in this way, so respectively, the fifth one is the strongest Pīti, the rapture. Not only feeling Pīti at this stage, but tranquility. Serenity is there. So what kind of feeling is that about the tranquility, serenity is at this space? The mind becomes so cool. So cool means now mind does not have any burning feeling, no anxiety, no stress. All kind of burning feeling. The mind-eating feeling is not present at that time. Mind is so cool, calm. So the very strong coolness, calmness is there at that moment, at this stage. Then the lightness, feeling so light, the heavy feeling. Because these are not present, they are at bay, they are afar, so mind is so light. Heavy feeling is not there, so lightness is there. Mind becomes so soft, so gentle, no rough, no hard. That kind of feeling is not there, so that is also about the tranquility, serenity. And malleable, mind is so malleable or flexible, means ready to know each and every object, always ready to know each and every object. How we miss the object, so that kind of quality is there. Mental sicknesses are not there at that moment. Tiredness, fatigue feeling, exhaustion. So, free from mental sicknesses at that moment. And mind is so straightforward at this stage. So these are all definition of the tranquility or the serenity of the mind. In this stage, all these qualities are present. Mind is cool, so calm, We are talking about very strong kumis, karmas, not the minor kumis, karmas, very strong, very light feeling, no heavy feeling at all. Mind is so smooth, so tender, so gentle, and there is no heaviness, always lightness. Lightness is there. So medical, mind is always ready to do something, to note the object. Mental sickness, heavy, the fatigue feeling, the tiring, exhaustion is not there. And mind is so straightforward at the time. All these qualities are present at this stage. Especially yogis feel the mental happiness. Sukha is there. Mental happiness. And this is not the ordinary mental happiness. Extraordinary happiness arises during in this stage. This happiness is far more, many times better than the ordinary happiness or the holy happiness, or many times better than the sensual pleasure. That kind of happiness yogis will enjoy or will realize at this stage. Ordinary happiness or the holy happiness is the happiness that we gain by saying good, by seeing or watching a movie, by going sightseeing, by looking beautiful things, fascinating things, by listening good music or the song, similarly by smelling, by eating the delicious food and flavor, by touching or contacting the smooth, the tender things, or by staying with family, by having or wearing the good clothes, by having money, by being rich, by having name and fame, by having good status. All these are just the ordinary or the holy happiness or the pleasure. But the pleasure, the happiness that we enjoy in these stages, many times, 100 times, 1,000 times, much more better than that holy happiness. It is hard to describe, but it is because it is not something easy to describe. It is something to feel. Only when we enjoy, when we develop, when we feel, we will see how good, how better, how best this happiness is. So when yogis develop these states of knowledge, that yogis will realize by themselves. So if yogis want to enjoy this extraordinary, the rapture, the joy, the extraordinary, the serenity, tranquility of the mind, the extraordinary happiness, then yogis just need to develop insight into the rising appearance and the disappearance, the rapid appearance and the disappearance of the physicality and mentality. So after that, when seeing the appearance and the disappearance, the physicality and the mentality, rapid arising and the passing away, if we keep practicing, day after, we won't see arising anymore. We will see the disappearance. All the physicalities, all the mentalities are just disappearing. No more seeing the arising, just disappearing. So this is called the disappearing knowledge, the insight knowledge into dissolution. So after that, this knowledge develops. So if we keep practicing on, then one by one, the other insight knowledges will be developed. So if a yogi develops the insight into arising and passing away, he is eligible to attain the path and crucial knowledge in this very life. So that's why the minimum, very minimum goal we should have is to develop the insight knowledge into the appearance and the disappearance. At this moment, the two very important mental factors develops. Become very strong. That is Hīri and Ottappa, the moral fear and the moral shame. So in order to know about the Hīri and Ottappa, moral fear, moral shame and the moral fear, first we should know about the Hīri, the Hīri, shamelessness, a lack of moral shame, and the Ottappa, lack of moral fear. Hīri means, shameless means to do bad, to speak bad, and to think bad, not being shamed, not being shy is called the Hīri. The example is given like a village pig. Nowadays it is hard to see, but village pig, they are not shamed to eat the pieces or the excrement. Similarly, when Hīri, the shamelessness is there, we are not shameful to do bad, to speak bad, and to think bad. So that is called shamelessness or the lack of moral shame, Hīri. Not feeling only shameful, but also feeling proud. Like the village pig, they might feel proud among the other pigs while eating the pieces or the excrements. Similarly, those who don't have the moral shame, they may feel proud, doing bad things, speaking the bad speeches and the thinking the wrong things. For example, thieves might be feeling proud while stealing other belongings among the other thieves. This is the lack of moral shame. When we deceive by lying others, we may feel proud sometimes. We may talk with other friends, oh, last night I deceived him or her in that way, in this way, in that way. Nowadays, like a prank is quite famous. People enjoy, people feel proud by being frank to others. So doing wrong things, feeling proud while doing wrong things is because of lack of moral shame. Like the pigs feel proud while eating excrements. Those who drink alcohols, they may feel proud among those who drink alcohol. So how many bottles I can drink or I drank yesterday, last night. They may feel proud of that. So, feeling proud while doing unwholesome actions is because of the lack of moral shame. That is Hīri. And lack of moral fear is not being fearful to the result of those bad actions or the bad acts. The example is at night the small insects or the flies come to light. But next day when we see many insects, those flies or the insects are dying on the ground. So those insects or flies are not fearful of dying. So similarly, those who commit the unwholesome actions, they are not fearful for the results, the bad consequences they will face in the future. They are not afraid of, they are not fearful for those bad consequences, because all the bad actions definitely brings the bad results. So not being fearful through those bad actions, bodily action, verbal action and mental action is called the lack of moral fear. So the opposite of this lack of moral fear, shame, and the moral fear is called Hīri and Ottappa. The moral fear, moral shame. And the example is like a noble person, a wise person. Let's say there are two iron balls. The one iron ball is dismayed by the pieces, and another iron ball is very hot. Very hot. So a wise person is not daring enough to trust the first one because of the pieces, because of the experiments. Second one is also he is not daring enough to trust because it is quite hot. So not doing the unwholesome action or feeling shameful and feeling the fearful, the mental qualities when we are about to do the unwholesome action. The feeling side not to do unwholesome action, being fearful to commit the unwholesome action is called the Hīri and Ottappa. So simply, what we can say is, if we are doing something wrong, or if we are speaking something wrong, if we are thinking something wrong, means that is the lack of moral fear and the moral shame. And when we are refraining from doing bad, speaking bad, thinking bad, means we have moral fear and the moral shame. So in this stage, the moral fear and the moral shame become very strong, so that the meditating yogi even does not like to have the anger or the greed or the mental defilements arising even for a second. So, because he feels very shameful of arising the greed, arising anger, arising envy, jealous, and so on. And he or she becomes so afraid of arising these mental impurities at this moment. So that's why meditator who is in this stage feels so shameful of and so fearful of arising the unwholesome mind and mentalities. So not admitting the unwholesome mind and mentalities or the defilements even for a second. Not liking to arise the defilement even for a second. So that's why he or she cares a lot in this moment not to arise the kilesas in mind state. Means the moral fear and the moral sin is very strong at this moment. So just imagine if a yogi is not wanting to arise the single defilement in mind even for a second. So whether he or she will commit the bad action by body and speech or not. If he or she is not liking or even feeling shameful or even feeling fearful to arouse the kilesas for a second, then how it could be possible for him or her to do the bad action by body and speech? So he will be so shameful, he or she will be so shameful to do the bad action and to speak the wrongful speech. So these two, moral fear and moral shame, are called as sukha dhamma. Sukha means white mental factors, because they don't observe the heat or the unwholesome actions. Because when we walk on sunlight, mostly we wear the white shirts, white clothes, because we do know that white shirts or the white clothes that does not absorb the sunlight. It reflects the sun. But in opposite, the black clothes or the shirts absorbs the sunlight heat. Similarly, these moral fear and the moral shame are like the white factors which does not observes the unwholesomeness, which reflects away the unwholesomeness. But opposite, if we have no moral fear and the moral shame, then our mind absorbs the unwholesomeness. That is why these two mental factors are called the sukha dhamma, white dhammas, or the white natures, or the white mental factors. So that is why in our life these two mental factors are very crucial, very important to have in order to not to absorb the unwholesomeness, bodily unwholesomeness, the verbal unwholesomeness, and the mental unwholesomeness. We have to reflect, we have to knock out, we have to push away the unwholesomeness. In this way, in this stage, many good qualities, many good mental qualities develops. So, very few, and very rarely the unwholesomenesses or the defilements have chance to arise in mind stream at this moment. So in this way, when we develop the knowledge into appearance and the disappearance, we have already mentioned the knowledge into impermanence, knowledge into suffering, knowledge into the selflessness develops. And when this knowledge develops, the wrong view of permanence. Many people believe everything is permanent. So the wrong view of permanence will automatically subside, automatically eliminated. Wrong view of the sukha, happiness. People believe this world is full of happiness, just enjoy. So the wrong view of happiness will be subside, and the wrong view of the atta, the believing soul, believing self. Many people believe in soul, like a soul exists. Soul exists in each and every individual living beings. Some believe the ultimate soul is there in the sky somewhere, controlling everything. So people believe two kinds of soul: individual soul existing inside the body, and the ultimate soul somewhere in the sky existing, which is controlling everything. So these wrong views also will be subsided when develops the knowledge into the impermanent suffering and non-self. After developing the discriminating knowledge into physicality, mentality, then yogis develop the knowledge into cause and effect. When yogis see everything happening with cause and effect, with relevant cause, with relevant effect, then at that time the wrong view of creator, the wrong view of creation, like all the things are being created by the creator. Also the wrong view of, like after this life there is no life, or there was no past life. These kind of wrong views will be subsided. So in this way, as the knowledge develops, the wrong views or the delusion, not knowing subsides. Like if light is here, then darkness automatically subsides. Similarly, if knowledge develops, then illusion, darkness automatically subsides. So that's why, again, I would like to request all the yogis to try harder, and by trying harder, they will be able to develop mindfulness concentration, and by developing our concentration, we will be able to develop the wisdom, especially the insight into the discriminating knowledge into physicality, mentality, discriminating knowledge into cause and effect, insight into then appearance and the disappearance, then after knowledge into dissolution, and so on. We are able to develop these insight knowledges. And we will be able to enjoy the extraordinary joy and happiness.